Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Committee on Water, Parks, and Wildlife to order. Committee Secretary, please call the roll.
Levine.
Here.
Bigelow.
Here.
DeBobne. Daly.
Here.
Dodd. Eggman. Gaines. Garcia.
Here.
Gomez.
Here.
Harper.
Present.
Lopez.
Here.
Mathis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Salas.
Present.
Williams.
Here.
Quorum.
Great. We have quorum, and I'd like to make a few announcements to everyone. First of all, I'd like to welcome our new Committee Secretary, Chinook Shin. Thank you so much for joining us and being part of our team. We're really looking forward to working with you, and so I think we're all very fortunate to have you as part of the committee. I'd also like to welcome, and maybe I'll do that later when she arrives. She might still be looking for the committee room. Assembly Member Susan Eggman, who has just been named to fill a role vacated by Speaker-elect Rendon. And I'd also like to congratulate our principal consultant on water, who has departed from the committee to join the State Water Resources Control Board, Tina Leahy. This is a great success story for Tina, and she's going to go on to do amazing things on behalf of the state of California. And we're grateful for the contributions that Tina made in the Assembly and for our committee. And so I hope that you join me in thanking her and expressing that gratitude. Our first order of business is AB 309. Mathis. Mr. Mathis, would you like to present your bill?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members. I'm here to introduce AB 309, the Governor Edmund G. Pat Brown Sr. Research Grant. This grant will encourage the best and brightest in our state universities to find the next generation of water solutions for our thirsty state. This bill enables the Department of Water Resources to create and administer a research grant in the amount of $145,000 to provide one-year grants to CSUs and UCs universities in the state to support research that would examine ways to expand our state's water portfolio. With many of the finest institutions of higher learning, not only in the country but globally, California is uniquely positioned with tremendous human capital to offer innovative solutions in increasing fresh water supply to an ever-growing and thirsty state. I understand that the community analysis indicates that 2 out of the 9 UC campuses in the state already have programs. However, there are 7 other UCs that do not. Why leave them out? The CSU consortium is comprised of faculty and staff who I am sure are doing fine work, but once again, we are ignoring thousands of our state's best and brightest minds. Mr. Chairman and members, shouldn't we have and in fact encourage this state's next generation of engineers, water experts, and other specialists to roll up their sleeves and help us solve this pressing water needs of our state? Finally, we are giving the DWR the leeway to design the criteria themselves because they best know what the needs are in the ways and the challenges that are set forth. Members, California has a remarkable history of looking to our universities, to the minds of our college students, to help solve the problems. Why not give them the opportunity to compete, to get these minds that are outside of the box, out of the box of Sacramento, that have fresh ideas, the opportunity to help us and help the state? I ask for your aye vote.
Any witnesses in support of the bill?
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. Jason Murphy on behalf of the University of California. We do not have a position on the bill at this time. However, it's certainly the case we have numerous researchers which could be of assistance in this area, and we'll look forward to continuing to work with the author as this bill moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to the bill? Seeing none, we'll bring this back to the members. Any questions or comments? All right, there's a motion and a second. Any other comments at all?
I just have a question.
Yeah, Mr. Williams.
And one of the elements in the analysis or that DWR mentioned that because of the lack of criteria that they might spend this much money just getting the grant going, the same amount as the grant is. I mean, how do you react to that as an author? I mean, do you feel like then that defeats the whole purpose if the DWR spends?
I plan to work with DWR moving forward and with the UCs moving forward, and if there's a higher amount that we need to look at, then possibly taking amendments to do so. It's my goal in this is to use the best and brightest minds that we have to help us. So if there's amendments moving forward or work that needs to be done, you all know me, I'm definitely open to working on this moving forward so that way we can ensure that our best and brightest have the opportunity to help us.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I would just say that this seems like well-intentioned, but probably the best way to do this would be just to give the CSU more money. Because if we're going to spend that much money developing criteria, then it seems to defeat some of the intent that you had. So I don't think I'll be supporting it today.
Ms. First of all, before you came in, we welcomed you to the committee. We know that maybe it took you some time to find the committee room since it's your first meeting with us.
Oh, come on, Mr. Chairman. It's early in the year.
But we are grateful.
And I do have two committees at the same time. It's come to.
We are grateful for having you here with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also am incredibly supportive of this idea. We in Stockton recently had a hackathon about water where we just invited young folks to come in and work on developing apps or whatever ideas. So I'm incredibly supportive of the idea. I don't know if this car drives there though, if that makes sense. I think your intention is great, but I think the amount that it appropriates to set up the criteria, I don't know that meets your goal. I think you probably need to keep, to go back and keep working on this some more, and we'll see what happens, if it goes forward or not. But I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
Ms. Garcia, did you have your hand up or?
I was going to echo the comments of both of my colleagues, and I know we have deadlines this month, but this might be I think the idea merits us exploring it further, but maybe a candidate for us to look at it throughout the year and not try to rush it this month.
Any other comments?
Is it a 2-year bill?
All right, so Mr. Mathis, I really appreciate the motivation of this bill. And some of the shortcomings that were identified are shortcomings I agree with. I think one last point is it's not named after my father. And so, therefore, I have a very hard time supporting the legislation at this time. But the spirit behind it, obviously, it's incredibly well-intentioned. And we do need the best ideas possible. I have a lot of faith in our researchers at CSU, the minds coming through it. They're amazing institutions that are applying their intellect to this, but also minds from outside our state that also have, and outside even our country, that are bringing great ideas to California that we can adopt, particularly during this time of drought, as we look for a sustainable pathway for California's water use. So I'm not able to support the bill at this time, but I do appreciate the intention and motivation behind the bill. Any other further comments? Would you like to close, sir?
Again, I'm willing to accept amendments moving forward, so I'll look for that on my desk. Again, the goal here is to move this forward and to get our best and brightest looking at and competing And with that, they have the most buy-in. These guys are competing to graduate. They're working on their thesis projects. They're working on their degrees. They're out willing to do the hard research on their own time. This gives them some extra support and a better initiative to do so.
Thank you. All right, there's a motion. Please call the roll.
The motion is do pass and re-refer to appropriations. Levine,
No.
Bigelow,
Yes.
DeBobne, Daly, Dodd, Eggman, Beth Gaines, Christina Garcia, Gomez, Harper,
Aye.
Lopez, Mathis,
Aye.
Medina, Solis, Williams,
No.
Okay, so what's that?
That means-
roll open for him.
yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mathis, it's 6-2. We'll hold the roll open.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, next we have Mr. Gomez, AB 581.
Mr. Chair and members, today I'm presenting Assembly Bill 581, which will inform Californians of how public funds are spent and impact them locally. This bill would require recipients of Proposition 1 water bond funding for multi-benefit ecosystem and watershed protection and restoration projects to post signs acknowledging the state's support for such projects. The bill requires the Secretary of the Natural Resources Agency to develop signage guidelines, which is a task that the agency is familiar with, having developed guidelines for similar measures, such as the 2000 park bond. It is important for the Californians to be aware where the tax dollars are being spent, particularly when they affirmatively vote for measures and projects that impact their communities and public land and open state. The cost of the sign would be negligible. Ask for your I vote. I just really wanted to. This is similar to a bill that I did last year, but what happened is we were putting this into the Strategic Growth Council, and we found that it became unworkable as we're trying to develop the bill and the implementation of the bill. It just so we narrowed it down to dealing with the Proposition 1, and mainly it was what I've noticed.
Move the bill.
Second.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Any other witnesses in support of the bill? Any opposition? I will bring this back to the committee. Any questions or comments for the author? All right, seeing none, would you like to close? Oh, did you have a comment, Mr. Williams?
I was just going to say that it's important as we endeavor to try to fix the infrastructure of the state to make sure voters know when we are fixing infrastructure of the state. Otherwise, they're never going to approve more bond money to fix the infrastructure of the state. So I think this is, a small matter, but an important matter.
Well said, Mr. Williams. Mr. Gomez, would you like to close? Oh,
Mr. Chair,
I'm sorry. There's just it's unclear who made the motions. Could you redo that, Ms. Eggman? And the second was Mr. Salas. All right. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I ask for your I vote, even though I'm a little rusty keeping my presentations pithy.
Great. Thank you. Please call the roll.
The motion is do pass and re-refer to appropriations. Levine,
Aye.
Bigelow,
Aye.
DeBobne, Daly, Dodd, Eggman, Gaines, Garcia, Gomez,
Aye.
Harper, Lopez, Mathis, Medina, Solis, Williams. Do pass.
All right, this bill passes nail biter. Thank you, Mr. Gomez. We have a stellar bill by our colleague, Assemblymember Adam Gray, AB 1244, on consent. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar? All right. Thank you for the motions. Let's call the roll.
Do pass and we refer to appropriations. Levine.
Aye.
Bigelow.
Aye.
DeBobne. Dally. Dodd. Eggman. Gaines. Garcia. Gomez. Harper. Lopez. Mathis. Medina. Salas. Williams. That is 13.
All right, thank you, members. That bill is out. We'll now move to a vote-only bill by our colleague, Assemblymember Salas. This is a bill that we're only taking a vote on. We're not having a presentation. There isn't even any debate, as much as perhaps we would like to debate it. We're not even taking witness testimony. That is just the unique nature of these vote-only bills. But it does require a motion. All right, we have a motion and a second. I guess we're not going to debate it after that motion, so let's call the roll.
If I could just ask that we hold the roll open so everyone gets to vote.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
For
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. All right.
The motion is do pass and we refer to appropriations. Levine.
No.
Bigelow. DeBobne. Dally. Dodd. Eggman. No. Gaines. No. Garcia. Gomez. Harper.
Yes.
Lopez. Mathis.
Aye.
Medina.
Aye.
Salas.
Aye.
Williams.
No.
Needs 3 votes.
All right, Mr. Salas, you need 3 votes. We will hold the vote open for 5 minutes, and then we'll close it. Yes, Mr. Dodd. No, you didn't vote. All right, thank you. So the business is finished, and I guess we'll reopen the rolls for those that need that.
Dodd was a
I don't think he's
not voting.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Now I gotta run back to VP.
Great to have you. Hey, I briefly toyed with opting back in. At some point, if economic situation changes for me and my wife.
Mathis is, what the main problem is, you might as well just do a bill with an existing research program. Yeah,
So you wanted to do the
that's
add-on?
more meaningful. And he's not going to avoid the suspense.
The Gomez bill and the Gray bill are the
Okay.
ones that are add-ons. Yeah.
So add-ons, AB 581.
Dodd, aye.
AB 1244.
Dodd, aye.
Mathis, aye. Yes. Mathis is also an aye on 581.
They want to wait till, I can't vote right now in Solid still.
Let's wait to lift the call. With this week, he said 5 minutes. It's just a couple more folks. I mean, we're going to leave. I guess we could lift the call and do it again. Yeah, let's just say we're lifting the call.
Okay, we can lift the call on 309 and 1325.
You just turn your mic on and repeat.
Item number 1, AB 309.
Just call the absent members.
The absent members are. The chair's recommendation is a no. DeBobney?
Aye.
Dodd?
No.
So is that everyone on the bill?
It was Gaines was absent too, right? She's not here.
She wasn't here. Gaines?
She should be an aye.
All right, so that's.
Patty's coming up right after she presents. She's in public safety presenting. Yeah, Matt's got that on.
I don't think he's. I don't know. He's here.
I know, but where's Miss Gaines? I was assuming that you were going to get on
Lift the call on 1325.
AB 1325. The chair is a no. Absent members. DeBobney?
Aye.
Lopez?
No. Dodd,
Oh. Dodd?
No.
Six to six.
Still votes outstanding.
Yeah. Yes, you still need to.
Okay, we'll replace the call on that for 2 more minutes.
They haven't gaveled down because they're letting a couple of members come.
All right, we held the roll open for longer than 5 minutes, but 309 and 1325 fail. 309 is a vote of 7 to 3, and 1325 is a vote of 6 to 6. Thank you, members. Meeting's adjourned.